it's crazy that when you brought up like society looking at itself,
Yeah.
it kind of goes to the topic of what I was saying. Is it easier to forgive yourself or to forgive somebody else?
You did bring that. Hey, that shit. When we're reading so we send notes to each other to figure out what to talk about each week, and everybody's been saying it, but you as an addition to the show, Lex, can't say enough about just the dialogue, like how much we explore the conversation further. But when you sent that this morning, I was like, yo, how how much easier is it to forgive yourself versus to forgive someone else? I just started watching Insecure, season 4. Uh, for personal reasons, it was like I don't know if I can handle this shit. I had Elle and them dying the other night. Like why I hadn't watched it, but I finally watched it. And before I do anything, my Iman Europe, fuck man, like what that woman went through as a creative, and to be specific, like she was like, yo, my shit gonna be on there. And when if you know her music, you know why, like she should be on that show to finally have her song. But so many of the homies have had their music on there. Like that was the one person that music was supposed to be on that show. So she salute to Iman, episode 4, season 4.
Salute.
Salute. But the conversation that they're having in there, like forgiving yourself versus forgiving someone else, the love triangle, the dynamic between Lawrence, his new chick, Issa's new friend, and him just having a rapport with his ex. Nigga, 5 years. You got a real rapport when you with someone for 5 years. And it didn't, granted she cheated. He was checked out. There's all these different things that lead to a different conversation around why they broke up. But when Cole asked him, like, yo, if she didn't cheat, would you still be with her? And Bruck, he had to think about that shit, like, goddamn. And the forgiveness part. Here Issa is like trying to evolve and sort of not only forgive how she felt in and around the Lauren situation, but she's working on forgiving herself and like trying to be the bigger person. Meanwhile, her partner, who's stuck and not able to forgive the shit that's going on in her life, sort of holding her back and like kind of reminding her to be like, nah, stand on your square, sis. Fuck that. You don't forgive nothing. We don't forget nothing out here. And it's trying to find love, and it's like, wait, bro, what do I do? And the brilliance of the writing of that show to highlight that.
They shut it down in season 4 with that one.
They're high, yo.
Didn't what's name have something like? I think like Kerry Washington or something like that had something to do with some of that. I think. I don't want to put that on the mic actually because I don't fully know that, but I feel like she had something in on
the writing
on this particular season.
I want to know the writers' room for season 4, because they've turned it up a whole nother level for me to where you and I talk about this all the time, Lex, where the stories and the spaces, you can kind of show me what's going on in the action and shit, but for whatever reason, my eyes and my ears kind of go to what's happening in the sub conversations that can be missed, because that's where all the detail is for me. And their body in that, Molly's body language and the inner turmoil she's facing in and around, like trying to figure out how to date and how to open up, but she because she kind of has her shit together, there's a little bit more flair to her life. It could be easily seen as like Molly got her shit together, where it's like, nah, the struggle and the sort of mess of Issa is way more palatable and relatable to like how shit probably really is and what you have to navigate through and what you got to give. It's a real dope dynamic.
The genius topic though was one that I don't even know if people even talked about whatsoever. It was like when they were, because they have the African American lawyer group, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when they were having that they were doing that. I think they were doing like a case or working on a case, something like that.
Yeah, working late, and then Bro Pokes is holding the office.
Bro, and then they had that conversation when he left. Bro, like that is a combo for that ass. Because they were able to break down my man's whole life, man, just from him stepping in and out.
Yeah. But he eats salads. He got to fuck with white chicks, basically.
Bro, it said my man been here for 2 weeks. He had 6 salads.
He fuck with white chicks. I was like, yo, that's in again the authenticity of our stories. Like, right, like that. Those are conversations that are had amongst men, women, and collectively together, and that nuance can be lost. And so I really, really appreciate that. But I didn't even mean to get all the way there, but it was based off your question of like, yo, how is it easier to forgive yourself or forgive someone else? You fucked me up with that because I genuinely don't know.
That's a solid one.
I genuinely don't know. Because do we ever?
You said it. Wait, say it again.
Is it easier to forgive yourself or someone else?
I got it.
And like that question just came up because to me, it tends to be that a person is more likely to forgive somebody else before they forgive themselves. Like they'll mess up on something a lot of times, and I'm just talking as a whole, not just individual, but a lot of people they'll mess up on something and they hold it to themselves for years and years to come. Whereas somebody else could do something wrong, and they it's easier for them to excuse it and forgive it and move on. But when it comes to a mistake within yourself, a lot of people, they tend to hold on to it for some reason or another. So that's what made me ask that question to you guys and see how you guys feel about that.
Yeah. That's a good one, man. I think that it is like it's super easy to forgive somebody else because I don't think there's not much of a responsibility factor there. I don't think. Like, I think when people just being liable for themselves is like a long, tough road. You know what I mean? Like, that shit is consistently gonna be in your face.
Yeah.
That's why people get distracted. You know what I mean? Or decide to distract themselves. So they gotta deal with that.
It's easy to bury your head when it's like, I got work to do. And you can kind of get wrapped up into like someone else as a project and what the fuck they got going on to avoid sitting with yourself. And that's why I gotta go. It's way easier for me to forgive someone else than forgive I'll beat myself up, and that'll prolong and turn into something else way toxic that turns into sabotage of things that I know are great for me. Perfect example. Want to see a dead body? Did y'all see that in the notes? Fucking B Walk, you my nigga. I love you to death, but I need a fade when I see you, my nigga. B Walk, but this is why you're blessed to have good people in your life. B Walk hits me. He's like, yo, group workout on the Zoom. Here's the login. 10 a.m. Bet. Sent it to me. Nigga, I ain't going to that. I said that in my mind when he sent it to me the first time, and didn't go. A couple days later, hey, nudge, bro. It's at 10 a.m. Here's all right, fam. Maybe I'll go. I ain't going to that. Sends it again. All right, now I gotta go. Friday morning, guys, I log into this class. And so there's a whole bunch of things that happen, right? I log into this class, but when you log in early, the way the Zoom shit works, especially if it's about to be lit, if you get there early, nigga, you on that front page. Nigga, I'm on the front page because I logged in early. I didn't want, I no matter what it is, I got this like, I don't want to be late, I want to be late, I want to be late. I still get this like weird anxiety barrel being late. So nigga, I'm first in the class. One of the first people in class. Not the first one, but I'm one of the first people in the class for sure. Niggas start filing in. I'm like, wait, this niggas that still play sports in this thing. Like, what kind of workout we about to do? And then shout out Jimmy, the instructor. Amazing energy, amazing sort of approach to working out, right? Inspirational, saying good morning, getting everybody hype. I still got my camera off because I'm like, yo, maybe I cannot turn my camera on. Hey, if you in here, turn that camera on. I need to see what's going on. Oh shit, here we go. But I every intention to work out, but I just don't. I don't want. I'm out of shape. I don't want to be seen like I don't like. Man, here we go. Nigga, we start jumping jacks, something light. Stretch, get everything ready. By the time the warm up was over, my nigga, I said, "Ooh, that was a good one." Yeah. That's the warm-up, fellas. Let's go. Oh, yeah, I ain't gonna make it. And so I made it through, but not for real. Like, I had to tailor every exercise, and it was just like, nah, this is nuts. But by the end, B texted me like, yo, good shit, Pop. Like, nigga, all I could say was, you want to see a dead body? Thank God, like, because thank God that was one of the days Nana like had to actually go in, because had she walked in here and been like, she would have called 911 for sure. I look crazy. At one point, I had my shoes on, I had my workout shit on, Lex. My shoes and socks was off by the end. It's like everything was restricting me.
Just like my toes are hot.
My man said everything was restricted me. Though.
Everything was restricted. Get out of here. You get out of here.
Can't hold me down.
Can't hold me down.
Oh man.
Oh, that shit was a fucking nightmare, yo. But I don't even know why I started saying that.
Bro, shedding clothes in the workout is hilarious.
I have no idea why we got there, but it had something to do with what we was talking about. But it's like that shit. But the front page thing, I didn't know was a thing, bro. So what? And no one's thinking about you for that. So that's the one part. No one gives a fuck. Like everybody got their own shit to go through in that shit in that particular workout. But I'm like, damn, I'm here now. It's like, whew, this shit
So it
killed.
felt good though?
Huh?
It felt good though?
No, so we had another conversation after that in terms of what the psychological aspect around it is, right? So psychologically, you get around all the homies, and some niggas still in shape, whatever. But if we were on the playground, if we were at recess, if we were at the gym, if we was hooping, and you get buckets that first day, but this is the hangout, this is where we congregate, nigga, I'm all right. Now I have to go do things in between to make sure the next time we get back to the court, I'm not getting my ass busted. Like that's why competition and that shit is so healthy, because it just holds you to a certain standard because you want to be able to perform. When we went to Cabo, here we are on vacation. This nigga L is up at 7 because we talked the night before like, yo, let's go get a workout. I'm like, all right, petty. We on vacation. Niggas ain't gonna wake up to a decent hour. They up on their way to the gym, and I'm like, well, fuck it. We going to the gym. Nigga, they've been working out. You can't just get in there and do what L should be in the league, Todd in the league. These niggas is doing crazy workouts in there. And I'm like, oh yeah, nigga, I got that. No, sir. No, you don't. Fall back. And but it's what the brain does competitively. And that's not a bad thing. It's actually one of the greatest features if you acknowledge it.
Right.
And that's one of those things that I have identified for myself to be a driving variable of success is health consciousness, physical exertion, and honoring the animalistic feature of competitiveness. Neglecting that and acting as if it ain't a thing is so detrimental to me personally, right? Like I'm releasing different endorphins. My creativity is higher when I'm acting. I know I've identified these things,
right,
and still can manage to suppress, neglect all of that to be completely consumed with someone else and what they did or didn't do for me, and work on forgiving them and be distracted. So that's why I can fully, like, when you talk about how easy, like, I can forgive so easy. But then the other part is, are you really? If any small thing triggers what you claim to have forgiven him for, did you really forgive somebody? So I'm caught in this sort of weird purgatory where I can forgive really easy, but did I for real, if subconsciously, still kind of holding people to the fire for what they did or didn't do, or doubling back and the same thing happens because you didn't address it fully. So I'm just that's why I got to the whole dead body shit, because it was like knowing what you need. Like literally knowing exactly what you need, neglecting it, going to do other things. It's revealing something different in me that I'm currently trying to work through, which is crazy we're having this conversation. Because if the thoughts sound scattered, it's because this shit is all in real time, you know. But there is this thing about probably should work on forgiving yourself a little faster so that you don't continue to sort of sabotage or do everything that isn't conducive to the lifestyle that you are, the goals you've set, right?
Definitely. Yeah, that's like the project I've been on for myself, like over the last couple of years. Has been like not only like a self-discovery journey, it's like a forgiveness of yourself, and you literally go through a process like how they were doing like an AA meeting, or yeah, pretty much like an AA meeting where you go through like the steps or whatever, and like the first one is acknowledging and being aware of it. Um, you have the exact same type of step process when you go through like grieving, and I think that you go through like the period of overwhelming sadness, and then you go through a period of anger, you go through a period of remorse, you go through a period of forgiveness, and then you get into a period of forgiveness of self.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like all these are like constantly moving, because it's not like when you get over one part of this, you move on to
It's
the next
done,
one, and
yeah.
then you move on to the next one. No, as you're ready to get to the next step, you still are working on what you learned from the last step. It helps you be able to see the next one. You know what I mean? So it's just a constant process. So when you finally get to like the forgiveness of self, that's the longest one. You know what I mean? Because all those other ones was like shit, difficult as hell, but it's nothing like nigga for yourself, because you got to think about shit that got you into that situation in the first place.
Wow.
Like how did I even reach this? How did I even reach this position of feeling this way? And then you start going down a rabbit hole, because it goes back to, it could be childhood suppression. You know what I mean? Like it's so much shit that we deal with, especially from the upbringing. I mean, just the places that we come from. So there's a lot of shit that we just don't forgive on ourselves first. You know what I mean? So once we get to that road, it's enlightening, man. Like I feel like it really is enlightening. Like you start to carry yourself differently. That's why I really, really appreciate, and I've always appreciated, would never turn my back on Kanye West, because bruh is a walking example every single day of caring for self, like being wholehearted in self, though, like to a point that it makes other people uncomfortable.
Facts.
Like you gotta really, really you gotta really, really love yourself in order to do some of the things that you have to do out here. And we don't give ourselves enough of that credit, man. Like, and your credit don't have to be on somebody else's scale either. Like I think that's a problem too, is that folks be out here trying to do so many things on other people's textbooks.
Yeah.
Like, my name, like I don't need to read somebody else's life and mimic exactly what they did. You know what I mean? Like you need to do shit for yourself, and then you can add in things from other people's lifestyles that are interesting or close to your walk of life. Like that's really what it's all about. But if you reading something and you don't know self, then bro, you fucking off even more time, bro, because now you're gonna be butting your head up against a wall that you don't know nothing about.
Know nothing about.
You have zero clue. Nigga, it's not your story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, that self, that discovery shit is, man. So yeah, forgiveness of self, man.